Hello, my name is Joe Frank. I was born March 18th, 1930 in Ansonia, Connecticut. My parents are Sam and Anna Frank. Uh, they, my dad was born in Oil City, Pennsylvania, and my mother was born in Poland and came here in the 20s. My dad was a salesman for Sunshine Biscuit Company until the Depression, and at that time he lost his job and had to go to work for the PWA. He worked outside, and at one time there he got pneumonia, and we had no money for medication, and the only money we got was I got a $2 bill for my birthday, and we used that for the medicine. In 1936, we came to Omaha. My dad got a job as a government meat inspector, and he got here in July, and we got here with my sister and I and my mother got here in August. The biggest thing I can remember about that was the 110-degree temperatures, and how everybody out east thought, oh, you're going to Nebraska, be careful of the Indians and the cowboys. I was made fun of with the clothes I wore because I used to wear knickers in the wintertime and shorts in the summertime, and at that time that was a no-no. I went to South Lincoln grade school. I started in the second grade. As in Connecticut there was no kindergarten, so when I was 5 I went right into first grade. At South Lincoln Kindergarten, there were just a few Jewish kids. There's my sister, myself, Wayne Siegel. From there, I went to South High, and there again, there were not too many Jewish kids. But my best friend, Dave Bear, I met him there. He and I went from South to Iowa State University. I spent 1 year there, and came home and went to UNO part-time. I worked at Nebraska Clothing in their tailor department, pressing cuffs into pants. The biggest thing there was no air conditioning. The only breeze we got was we opened the windows. After working at Nebraska Furniture and coming back to UNO, I also worked at Hinky Dinky's as a sacker. After 1 year, I decided I was going to quit school, make some money, and then come back into the university. But I went to work for the Corps of Engineers in 1949 and never left. Other than going into the service, in 1951, I enlisted in the Air Force. Spent 4 years in Wisconsin, Kansas, and Montana. I went from doing ditch digging in Madison, Wisconsin, to being a boiler man and teletype, and finally into cryptography. After spending my 4 years in the Air Force, I came back to Omaha, went back to work for the Corps of Engineers, and I retired from the Corps in 1989. After I got back from the service, I met my wife, Bev, through my sister, and we used to run around together with Ben Kyman, Joni Wiseman, my sister, and Al Commissar, and we got to have a group of 4 couples that also included Maury Schwartz and Phyllis Schwartz and Marcel and Ilsa Kahn. And with that group stayed together. We'd play pinochle and have dinners. We stayed together for almost 40 years. Got married in 1956. My best man was Maury Schwartz. I had a wedding party of Dave Bear, Ellie Ratner, and Lou Bernstein.
Joe, tell me a little bit about the work you did for the Corps of Engineers.
I worked in the testing lab, testing soils for engineering properties, such as building properties, dams, missile sites. But when I retired, I was a senior technician for the Corps. One of the reasons I did retire was it got to a point where the new engineers thought they knew more than I did, and I couldn't take that. But we had two children, Bruce and Shelley. Very proud of both of them, what they've accomplished. Bruce is a dentist, has a practice of his own. Shelley is in Urbandale, Iowa, and works for Wells Fargo. She does a lot of traveling for the company. We have 3 grandchildren: Stephen, Kelly, and Jessica. Stephen is the jock of the family. He's into bowling and baseball right now. Shelley is a shopper. Shelley is a mall runner. And Jessica is also a jock. She's a cross-country runner and a soccer player.
Let's go back and talk about your high school years and what went on then.
South High had very few Jewish students. That's where I met Dave Baer. There was Dave Baer, Wayne Siegel, the Epsteins, and Dick Martin are the only ones I can really remember being there. It was in ROTC. During my high school years, I was in AZA 7 in Council Bluffs. And the reason I went to 7 rather than 1 or 100 was because Dave Baer had come from Council Bluffs, and we went together. The group was small, but it was a good bunch of guys, and it was fun to be with them.
Who were some of the guys in AZA 7 with you?
There was Dave Baer, Zeph Telpner, Zeph's brother, the Rothmans, the Seldons, Kenny Sachs. That's the only ones I can remember right now. I can remember the dances and the conventions, which were always fun to go to, and the basketball at the Old J, the softball at Elmwood Park.
Did you participate in those sports, Joe?
I participated in the softball and the basketball. Softball I like better. I wasn't that good a shooter in basketball, but it was fun. We never won very much, but it was fun to get together and play with those guys. We did win one tournament to go to, and we got to go to convention to play in that. But like I say, they were not very good jocks. But
tell me a little bit about South Omaha when you were growing up.
Oh, South Omaha had their own kosher butcher shop, the Schlafers, and I can remember going there with my mom and dad to get our meat, and I can remember we had a couple of chickens that we grew up from chicks, and I can remember my dad taking them to Schlafers to get them koshered. There's Cantors had their furniture store there. I can remember going to the old South Omaha Synagogue, which was only used during the high holidays. There was no rabbi. Mr. Cantor ran the service. They were lucky to have 10 people there for a minyan. But the women sat on one side and the men sat on the other. There was no balcony there. the packing houses were the main industry there. You smelled the packing house every day. My dad worked in the packing house, and he would walk to each one of them every night time, day time. He'd work 12 hours at a time. He would go from one packing house to another during the year. My mother stayed at home and took care of the kids in the house. We lived, when we first moved here, we lived on 25th and D Street. It was an apartment. And we lived there for about 6 months. Then we moved to 4102 South 25th Street. And from there, we moved to 2516 F Street. It was all within a 3 or 4 block area. The houses had coal furnaces. We were one of the first ones when we lived on F Street to change from coal to oil. And I can remember the ice box sitting out in the back porch and having to go down to the corner to get the ice each day for 25 pounds or 50 pounds and bring it back at the wagon. The house, you could still see where the gas lights had been originally. It had no sink in the bathroom. The basement was just block. There was just enough room down there for the furnace and the coal when it first started out.
Joe, after you got here, did you have any relatives living in Omaha?
There were none. We were the first ones here. The only reason we came is because my dad, after he lost his job with the biscuit company, he worked for the PWA, and then he got a job with the government, and he was sent here. He came out first by himself because he wasn't sure if he was going to be able to handle it, because the first thing they put him on was a killing floor. But he was able to take care of that, and so he sent for us, and we came here in August. I can remember coming here. My sister, we were in Chicago, going on the escalator. My sister at that time was only 4, and she got her foot caught in the escalator, and we thought that we weren't going to be able to get her out of it. But luckily, somebody grabbed her and pulled her out before she got to be too much trouble. All our relatives still live in Connecticut and in Massachusetts.
Who do you have as relatives, Joe?
I've got just cousins. No aunts or uncles are left. The grandparents I never met, because my grandparents on my mother's side and her and my mother's brothers were all killed during the Holocaust. My father's side, I've met his brother, I've met his 3 sisters, and I barely remember his stepmother. I never met his grandfather, or my grandfather, or my real grandmother.
Do you hear from your cousins?
Just one. We get email from the one. The others we haven't seen or actually heard much from them since the 50s. So
What are your memories from AZA days, Joe?
just I remember the conventions, the dances, the sports, the good times we had with the other guys. And I can remember going over with Dave Barrett to AZA meetings and stopping afterwards at his grandmother's house for a glass of tea, and then we would head home on the streetcar. The sports, They say we had some good ball players, but not very many. Sal Cutler, I can remember. And I'd close by saying, Bruce and Shelley, you made us proud. You've done everything that we could ask for you to do. To Jess, Stephen, Kelly, you're the light of our life. Whenever we see you, you just make us shine. We love you all. This picture was taken in the 50s. My mother, my dad, my sister Edith, and myself.